On this episode of the Comic Blast podcast, it's more of a relaxed news week after our most previous episode. Keenan is on vacation, and now Jess and Josh are joining us once again to talk about our favorite Halloween movies and what we think of when we consider the Halloween atmosphere. All that and more, up next.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out? Consider this mercy. I am inevitable.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Comic Blast podcast. It's me, Grayson. With me, I have probably the most people I've had in quite some time. First and foremost, we have the man who loves purple, Mr. Cole Black.
Hello, hello.
We have I forget your title. We got, Baby Jesus. We got Baby Jesus, everybody. Hey, Josh.
Good morning, everybody.
Listen, we're all really tired. And last but certainly not least, we have... did I ever make a title for you? Regardless, female and fatal, Jess.
Good morning, everyone.
This week's episode, it's only 9 a.m., so we probably should not be this tired, but also, we all are very tired. So, it is what it is. I'm going to run through all the housekeeping stuff, and then this one's going to just be a bit more, probably a shorter, just kind of lax episode. We were going to do our super villain draft, and we are going to get to that eventually, but we're kind of pressed for time. So we're just going to talk about some of our favorite Halloween movies, or just movies in general that we like to watch during this season. Just kind of make it an open discussion. But first, if you do not follow us on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow us at comicblast_. You can also follow us all personally, but we'll get to that at the end of the episode. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/comicblast. If you are so inclined to support us, you can throw us a quick buck as low as $1 a month, and it will help support us greatly. And we have a couple of patrons, 6 in total. Jess is one of them. She is our sponsor, but she's also host, so I don't really know how that works. But anyway, we also have Caleb, Diego, Sam, Joseph. Nope. And I'm missing one more. There's a fifth one. Fifth one, guys. Did I not say Jake?
You did not say Jake.
In my mind, I said Jake. Anyway, Jake, you were there in my mind, buddy. I'm going to his wedding in a weekend, so I don't know. I swear, I swear I said Jake. I was like, oh yeah, Jake, Sam, Diego, Joseph, and Sam. There you go.
I got you, Jake.
Yeah.
I got you, buddy.
You started off with Jess, so it's probably the J.
Oh, I think normally I have a rhythm of what I do. Anyway, yeah. Patreon.com/comicblast. It would be a great support, but there's no pressure whatsoever. Yeah, that should be it. Let's get right into it. Let's start with Jess. Jess.
Yes.
What are some of your favorite movies? Give me a handful of movies that you like to watch during the spooky season.
I think this is gonna be so basic, but I love everything that Tim Burton touches. I love stop motion just because there's so much that you can do with it. And so Corpse Bride is one of my favorite movies ever, and for a whole bunch of reasons. So what I really love what they did with that is that they showed us that the dead actually love living more in the sense that than the living do.
Yeah.
When they show you the living world, it's all super, they're all depressed and it's all, gray and dark. And then when you go to the land of the dead, there's all these vibrant colors and music and they're having a great time. The voice acting is absolutely phenomenal. And then when you look at the stop motion, at the characters themselves, just the way that they move, it's just so smooth. And even when you see like leaves blowing and hair blowing in the wind and stuff like that, like it's so smooth. And I love those little details. Like overall, it's a phenomenal movie. But those things, you know, they just make it so much better when they take the time to put so much effort into the details.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Josh and I have talked multiple times on Comic Blast and like stop motion. I don't think we've ever talked about Tim Burton stuff before. By the way, you can follow us over there at Rising Action as well as another podcast that Josh and I do. But we talked about Kubo and the Two Strings at one point, which is not really a Halloween movie, but like those types of movies, they're like the technical achievement of stop motion and like claymation also is like it's like crazy.
Yeah.
It makes me think of like Wallace and Gromit. Do you guys remember that movie?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my childhood.
I don't know why, but like that movie also made me think like for some reason I don't know why that movie makes me also think of Halloween. I'm not really sure why. Like I don't know. Maybe there's something actually about like
They did one Halloween movie. Oh man, what was it? They
They associated one of the two like with Frankenstein or something like that. I
I
just
think
remember
they
like
did. I don't
flashes
remember
of that
exactly
as a
what
kid.
it's called. But they definitely made one. They also made didn't they do like a Christmas one as well? I could be way off track here, but
I mean, probably.
I feel like
Yeah.
they did a whole bunch of different things. They did
I
not. I'm
feel
looking
like
and
we
they didn't do a single. No, they did the
associate-
Curse of the Were Rabbit.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was
yeah.
thinking.
So what were you saying, Jess?
I feel like we associate like Halloween. I mean, I know that I do like anything stop motion really just because Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Like Jack and Sally is like the face of Halloween kind of. You
Yup.
know, Jack most of
Yeah,
all.
for sure.
And it's an absolute classic. And then we have things like Coraline, which is also a really, really, really good movie. I
Yeah.
absolutely love that movie. So I just think we kind of just put those two
Tim
together.
Tim
all the
Burton's
time.
whole aesthetic like is really definitive for Halloween.
Yeah.
Like even his live action stuff. Like I think
Batman.
I was about to say like I even that is my alarm. My other alarm if had we not been doing this episode. Whoops. But yeah, even like the gothic design which like has inspired Batman so much like has only really been seen at least theatrically in the Tim Burton Batman movies with Batman and Batman Returns like especially with like Penguin and Catwoman. They've got like some
Oh yeah.
like dark, like almost like really gothic and grim designs. Like
Especially how Penguin looks with his teeth.
Yeah,
straight out of
it's
one
like
of
and sort of like his like black eyeshadow and pale skin, and then Catwoman's got like the real like the leather stitched outfit. Like Tim Burton has like such a unique style.
Yeah, it's not like it's terrifying, but it's definitely creepy a little bit.
yeah,
It's like you can let your kids see it. Well, some of it, like the animated stuff, I guess. But
yeah,
he kind of toes the line between he keeps it commercial, so everybody can see it, sort of, but it's still a little bit creepy, and it still has a little bit of that flavor to it. That's you know, it's perfect for the Halloween season.
it's like
It's
like the party city of 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 movies.
Yeah.
What else do
just
you
see
have?
it as- I see it as art. Like it's so beautiful.
It really is, yeah.
Because I don't think people realize just how much goes into a movie like that, and that's why they're so unappreciated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like little, like the tiny increments that they have to do with like every little tiny thing. It's crazy. I mean, I've seen a lot of the behind the scenes footage because I'm so fascinated with the movies.
Yeah.
You know, just because it's different when like an actor is acting on emotion. You know, it's an emotional scene. Like they can show you those emotions. They're actors. Like, how do you do that with something that isn't alive? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you're moving. It's so fascinating to me, and the way that they pull it off. It's really it's art. It's amazing.
Yeah. It truly is.
When you watch those old stop motion movies and like even some stuff that's inspired like today, like you guys were talking about, or you mentioned Kubo and the Two Strings, like stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is true. It just that it's like an art because when you're making something like that, you have to put so much effort into making sure that you can get it across and that it's stunning and stuff like that. So whenever you watch a movie that's like that,
It's you could see how passionate they are into their craft, and namely Corpse Bride is one of the things that always like struck a chord with me when I was younger because I just remember being so mesmerized by all the visuals, like just from the get go. Especially when Victor's like playing the piano right at the beginning, like you're immediately like, oh man, this
Yeah.
this movie is a real treat.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Sorry, I was just checking something real quick. What others do you have, Jess? Maybe give me one more, and then I'll cycle to Cole.
Just from like the books in my childhood, I love Goosebumps for some reason. Like
Dude,
that's always
Yeah.
something that I fall back on. Like, I was just on my before we started the episode, like I was going through like the Huluween, like all,
yeah,
and I saw
Oh,
Goosebumps,
yeah.
and immediately I was like, heck yeah,
yeah,
Goosebumps. So I put it on, and I don't know, because when I was a kid, like I was so immersed in it, it was like a way to get away from everything.
right.
And I love that, they made the series and the movie and everything else. Because the stuff that they come out with these days really isn't like Halloween related anymore. Like I know that, we have scary movies, but I wouldn't consider like The Conjuring or A Quiet Place a Halloween movie.
No,
So I just
no.
love that. Yeah, so I just love that we have something that's good from the past that long ago that we can always fall back on for Halloween. Like Goosebumps is incredible
I
every
re-
single time over.
I remember like especially when I was a kid. I would go over to my grandparents' house because they were the only ones. We didn't have cable at my house only, and so we only had it at my grandparents' house. So that was like, yes, I can watch Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon and Disney. And Halloween, that entire season was my favorite to go over there and watch that, especially because they would run through the reruns from Goosebumps, and there were some episodes that I'm like, holy crap, this is terrifying.
Yeah.
And then like Disney had Cartoon Network had some kind of scary stuff, at least for a kid. Like Disney was obviously more tame. They had like Halloween Town and those movies that were kind of like goofy, like playful Halloween. But I remember like those were my favorites to watch, like those Halloween movies that would come out during that season. Like they would have like the countdown day or like the days counting down to Halloween, and they would like play new things every day. And I was like, this is so good. And like as I got older, it's why I thought about it, and I'm like, honestly, Halloween is one of my favorite seasons. Like, I mean, for me now as an adult, like I think when I was a kid, Christmas was definitely my favorite, but now as an adult, like Halloween is my favorite because I'm like the whole atmosphere and culture behind like around Halloween is just so cool. Plus, like you get to dress up and eat candy.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Christmas is expensive as an adult.
Yeah, I know. I'm like,
I'm like,
Real.
keep it away. Keep it away, please.
people tell me they're like,
So,
why is Halloween your favorite? And I'm like, dude, like it's so fun. Like first of all, it's when the weather changes to like, and it's so much better. You get to literally have an excuse to dress up as like a cool character or whatever, and since we're all nerds, we definitely we're like, yes, a justified excuse to do that. and then I love me some candy. I do like me some Twix and Snickers and Reese's peanut butter
I was
cups.
just about to say those.
Listen, I won't even go trick or treat. I'll go to the store just to buy the Halloween candy.
Okay. Isn't it better though? I feel like when you buy the Halloween candy, it's better than the regular candy. Like they make it so
Yeah.
much better for Halloween for whatever
Yeah.
reason. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's like the Easter Reese's cups.
Yes!
It's like little cookies with
They're
Santa's
so
face
much
on
better
them
than
are
the
better than regular cookies.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
There's something about it. Just I like
So-
go for it, Josh.
So Jess, I know that there is a difference, but for you, what seems to be the biggest difference between like a movie that is a strictly Halloween movie and a horror movie? Because I feel like there is a big difference, but
Yeah.
also sometimes there can be a totally there's a line there, but it gets really weird.
So, I mean, most of the Halloween movies that we have are like set during Halloween. Like Halloween Town, like it's in the name. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
And even, Coraline, it's in the fall. And I think I just, associate Tim Burton stop motion, anything associated with stop motion with Halloween
Mhm.
because of The Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, I feel like that's kind of just like in my head for a very long time, ever since The Nightmare Before Christmas came out. And anytime I see something stop motion, just that like creepy vibe, because that's mostly what it is. Like even
Yeah.
when I think about Kubo and the what is it, two strings?
Yep.
I don't know. It still reminds me of Halloween for some reason.
Yeah.
When I think about it, it just has that vibe
Yeah.
to it. It just has that Halloween vibe.
I think it really is dependent on like your association with what you grew up with, and also just like when you watch something. Like a couple of the things on my list, like I'd say only one of them actually takes place during Halloween, but a couple of them are strictly because one or two, but a couple of them are like I just watched them in October, so inherently they are more like Halloween related to me. Rather than like, because I mean, there's like horror movies and stuff that take place during Christmas and all of that stuff, and it's like you don't really think of those as like Halloween. And like A Quiet Place, like I almost associate with like spring or summer, just because of like the setting of it all. So I guess it really depends on the setting, but also just when you watched it. Because there's some horror movies, like I would say, if you had watched The Conjuring for the first time in like the season of Halloween, you probably will think about Halloween more. But
You ain't forgetting it, I'm telling you that.
yeah, yeah. Like so, like one of my examples, like I thought about it is like The Lighthouse, Josh. Like that movie
Yeah.
is a movie that like I think
I
about.
would love watching that right now.
Yeah,
The
like
Witch.
yeah, I was about to say those two movies are really good because like they are kind of set. I wouldn't even say they're set in that season, but like maybe because we watched The Lighthouse in like around Halloween last year when it first came out. Like I think it may have been November, but it was still like I associated it with Halloween. And then
Yeah.
The Witch, obviously, like that is very much like Halloween. Like the setting with like the whole kind of like what would you even describe that setting of like the 1500s and 1600s with like
Pilgrims, right?
yeah, but basically like Salem witch trials kind of era.
Sort of. Yeah.
Cole, give me a couple of your movies that you like to watch during Halloween, or just give you the spooky vibes.
So when it comes to what I like to watch during Halloween time, I personally like to watch like actual scary stuff.
Yeah.
Because I just like to kind of get me just in that like I don't know horror-ish mood. So yeah, I'll watch stuff like The Witch and like both Conjurings, especially like one specific scene in Conjuring 2 that will always terrify me. And you know I can never get that out of my head. But with the stuff that I actually associate Halloween with, I remember the most because I recall like when I was a kid, the mood when Halloween came around was not that I was supposed to be scared. It's just that like you watch a movie that has scary elements in it, but they're also for kids, and so like you're having fun at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So like stuff like The Addams Family and like Ghostbusters and Casper. Like,
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff like that.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it's like the paranormal's going on, but you're also having fun at the same time. One specific movie that scared me a lot when I was a kid was Monster House, and I don't know why.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah,
I can't
like
believe I forgot that one.
that like.
I mean, I
that
forgot it
part
too.
of the movie where like the man's wife like falls or something, and you could just like see her body underground or whatever.
She falls into the concrete.
Yeah. And like when I was a kid, I was like, dude, like this is crazy. This scares me because I didn't like to see like just her casted body just under the concrete. That freaked me out.
It is creepy.
But yeah, I associate a lot of childhood memories through music. So like I said, like stuff like Addams Family and Ghostbusters. Whenever I hear that, like, or whenever I think of Halloween, that's what I start thinking about. And I specifically remember this one awful Halloween memory where like every year this one lady in like a really big house or something, she would always have the kids like dance full like to Monster Mash in order to get candy. And like I saw what she was going for. It was pretty interesting, like, you know, get some more activity in there. But like as soon as I was finished dancing, what happened was that she would give us candy and then she would give the adults water, even though the adults did not dance. And I specifically remember after dancing and being so exhausted, I asked her if I could have some water instead of candy, and she said, "No, that's for adults. Like, you get candy." And she just did not let me get water. And I was just really really tired, and I didn't have anything to drink. And eventually, my dad was like, "Here, I'm just gonna go get some more water real quick. I'll get it to you." But yeah, that's what I associate it with. I think the biggest connection, if you want to just kind of bring the two together, if you even want to call it that, is like the actual just trademark Halloween movies.
Oh yeah,
with like Michael Myers and stuff.
yes, I was gonna mention those.
Yeah. I was gonna say this, Hocus Pocus. Did anybody ever watch Hocus Pocus?
Oh yeah.
My sister is like a big fan of Hocus Pocus. I've never seen him.
It's I think you would enjoy it.
Really?
They're
Maybe
good.
not as much
New
today.
ones.
Yeah.
So Monster House is your like, is that like your, well, I mean, you told me I guess a couple, but yeah, Monster House is like, that's a good choice, because I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's one of my favorites as a kid. Like, I would watch that movie even when it wasn't Halloween time, but like it obviously is best suited to watch during that season.
I actually, one thing I like to watch during fall specifically is Over the Garden Wall.
Yes, sir.
You know, yeah, that's one of my favorite series of all time, and like, it came out in a certain year. Cartoon Network did it as like this little special. They only ran 10 episodes. It was a Halloween specific special.
Yeah, it's really like a movie, like an episodic movie, because it's only about, if you combine it, like each episode is only like 10 to 15 minutes, so it really only adds up to being about like a little under 2 hours.
Yeah. When you kind of look at the overall theme of it, it's not specifically Halloween, but it's definitely fall and like the transcendence of time and life and stuff like that, which I really appreciate. That's a lot of stuff that I garner from fall specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of really just the unknown and like strange but cool things, and this sense of like going from, or like coming of age, things like that. So yeah, that's just what I like to do.
Yeah. Oh man, Over the Garden Wall. I still need to rewatch that, but I remember when we watched that together, I was like, we watched it in the summer, but it is best suited to watch in like during Halloween season, which you'll definitely see when you watch it. Josh, you should absolutely watch Over the Garden Wall if you get the chance. Elijah Wood is like the main character. It was like, yeah, just like this limited series on Cartoon Network, and it was exceptional.
That sounds dope.
Yeah, Josh, what are some of yours?
Why did none of y'all mention the Scary Movie movies?
I don't know.
Why am I the only person who watches Scary Movie 3 around Halloween?
I love the scary movies. I don't watch them like as a tradition, but they are all hilarious.
I've never seen one.
Oh, okay. They're
What?
so goofy
Oh,
and they're
man.
hilarious. It's like, I don't even know if I can describe them. They are so goofy. But
It's actually funny. They were filming like the next one like nearby in Wilmington like a week or so
Really?
ago. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm looking
snap, they're making another one.
because I feel like I'm getting.
Yeah.
Man. Okay, you gotta tell me which one your favorite one is. I'm gonna judge you. I'm gonna judge you on it.
For me, it's a toss-up between the third one and the first one.
Okay.
I like probably the third one, but like slightly.
Agree.
Yeah.
Oh man, now I want to
second one
go
isn't
and
as
watch
good.
them.
So they're
I'm
like
thinking
the
about
the movies that are like
stuff.
parody films, right? Where they like make fun of all
Yes.
of the cliche tropes
Yes,
and
they
stuff.
make fun of horror movies. and they're
Oh.
comedic, and they're really funny, and they're goofy, and they make me laugh and smile a lot. So I watch them a
They're
lot.
so funny.
They're
When,
so good.
oh man, so many scenes are going through my head right now. Oh, I love
Wasn't
those.
that? I feel like I'm getting confused because there's also like another. Is there like another like a? I would say like a sister series to it where it's not like Scary Movie, but it's like some other, like, it makes fun of other tropes in movies. I guess I don't remember. I remember
I know
like
there's a movie, Cabin in the Woods, is kind of like it plays on horror tropes and that kind of
yeah.
thing. But
No,
that's
there was
it.
one that I thought of though. Maybe is it one that like was very in this vein, but it's like I remember seeing the trailer and like it made fun of like 300 and like Spider-Man 3 and like all of these different movies, and I was like, oh yeah, like it's made by the same people who make the Scary Movie movies. That's such a weird thing to say. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Also, why do I watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail around Halloween? Somebody explain that one to me. That one I have no clue.
That
why
one,
I do.
I think, is one of those things that's just, it's one of those association things where, like, you
Yeah.
get around there and you're just, like, you think about it. I don't know. I really could not tell
yeah,
you.
I watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I do, I watch The Shining probably a lot around this time of the year. If I'm going to watch it, it's going to be around this time of the year.
I feel like The Shining is either one of those movies that you either watch it around Halloween or you watch it around Christmas time. Because of,
Or
like,
you never watch it at all because it's terrifying.
no, it's not.
Oh, I love that movie so much, though.
Yeah,
You
it's
gotta get
really
it
good.
broken into your mind if you haven't seen it yet.
Shining is not that scary. It's good, not that scary, though.
It's.
I'd say it's
scary
mildly
in a way that
unsettling.
A lot of movies aren't.
It's unnerving.
Yeah.
It gets in your skin. That's how I would say.
It's not like outright terrifying. It's just one of those movies that makes you feel really weird after watching it, and you're like, I feel like I shouldn't have watched that. And then afterward, you're like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
But I
For
really
me,
shouldn't
it's
have done that.
for me, like the feelings that I get from The Shining are kind of similar to the feelings that I got from when I watched Hereditary. It's just kind of this.
Oh, but Hereditary was so much worse.
Oh, it definitely was. But that's kind of I can kind of
Worse in the sense that it was more scary, or worse that like just not as good as a film.
Oh, Hereditary is so
Hereditary
unnerving.
Hereditary is disturbing.
Yeah.
On a whole nother level. It's not really terrifying, but it's
To me, I will
I'm
say,
uncomfortable.
Hereditary in terms of horror films is one of those that I'm like, listen, I am not often unsettled or like not often like scared or unsettled by like a movie, like a scary movie.
Oh,
that
my
one,
gosh, yeah.
that one, like there's no jump scares or anything, but the pure atmosphere that they create in that movie, I will never watch it again. Like
Yeah,
I
no, don't even wanna
literally
see the cover.
listen, like I bought the movie on Blu-ray because I was like, oh yeah, like it was $5 at Walmart. I'm like, heck yeah, and it sat on my desk. I may have told this story before, but I'm gonna say it again. It sat on my desk for like a month. I never took it out of the shrink wrap because I felt so uncomfortable, like opening it up, that I felt like I let demons into my home. That I was like, so I texted my friend who like loves horror movies even more so than I do. Like he loves Saw movies. He loves obviously Halloween. Jason, Friday the 13th is like the peak for him. Nightmare on Elm Street, all of that stuff. Like he is diehard. But I was like, you've seen Hereditary, right? And he's like, yeah, man, I love it. And I'm like, you got Hereditary? You got the movie for that? And he was like, no, I don't. I was like, I'm gonna give it to you for my birthday, or for your for your birthday. And so I remember I like took it and I drove to like Sonic, and we ate some tater tots and some ice cream, and I was like, here's Hereditary, have a good day. And I was like,
Get Steven away from me.
it would have been really bad. It would have been really bad, like had like something bad happen to me while transporting that movie. But I mean,
Yeah.
it was just like, I mean, it's so good at what it achieves. But I was like, oh my lord, yeah.
Grayson's
but-
Grayson's story of nonchalantly passing it possessed demonic artifact.
Yep. To somebody else, like, here, you can take this.
Ooh, okay.
Don't call me.
I don't want to jump the gun, but what you just said reminds me of one of like my favorite horror movies, and I associate it with Halloween just because I watched it for the first time last year around this time. It Follows.
Man.
You guys all seen that?
Movie, okay, so like that movie is really not that bad for me, except for that one specific scene
With the guy
like,
and across the
in
street.
hall. I'm talking about when he's in the hall and like he walks up right behind one of the main characters.
Oh yeah.
And all you hear is like that buzzing or something.
Yeah.
That freaked me out. One of the things that scares me the most, and I don't know why, is
The
if
dentist.
there's. Well, I mean, one of the things that scares me the most is like that trope where it's just kind of like whatever it is just running straight at you and the camera's not moving away. You're forced to
So
stay
you
there.
hated The Dark Knight Rises.
What?
No,
Because there's a scene where Batman runs up on people. The camera doesn't move, and it's just
freaks me out too. Like I'm just like,
It just blinked.
Oh, where it's like the flashing of the muzzle flash of the gun, and he's
Yeah.
like, bah, 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 like.
Yep.
yeah.
So that terrified Cole.
It was one of the.
The Batman.
It was one of the Annabelle movies or something. Like she throw one of the characters like throws this ball, like down a dark hallway, and like
That was
you can't
Annabelle
see
Creation,
anything in
wasn't
it. Yeah. And the ball just keeps on getting thrown back, and like those movies are whatever in my opinion. You know, some of them are good, some of them are not. It's like just kind of give it a break. But there's one part where she throws the ball down the hall, and then suddenly you just hear like dun 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 dun, like something is running straight through, and that freaks me out specifically.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, with
Have y'all
it.
seen It Comes at Night?
No, that's actually on my watch list though.
I have not.
So it's got Joel Edgerton in it, and it's kind of, I mean, it's not necessarily Halloween, and it's not really even horror either. It's just like really unnerving and sort of a thriller, but
Yeah.
it's got that really gray, moody feel to it. So I think it's a really great fall movie.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a couple scenes where you're like, F this. You know? Like it's not terrifying, but you're just like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah, I feel that. So like, yeah, I already mentioned It Follows for me, and I just thought of that one like off the cuff because I honestly kind of forgot about it. But that one is definitely up there for me. Recently, this is the one that like kind of inspired this entire episode. Keenan and I watched the movie Brightburn for the first time, and while that movie it came out in like spring of 2019, I'd been meaning to watch this movie for a while, and I'm like, now is no better. There's no better time to watch this movie than in October, and I love slasher movies. Like, I think that's probably my favorite genre of like Halloween movies is I guess just some dude just killing people, and so.
Interesting.
I don't know if that says anything about
One
me,
thing
but
we found on Rising Action and Recording is that Grayson loves nasty movies.
what?
He's a big fan. You like movies where people just get chopped in half. You're with it.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, in terms of like, oh yeah. I mean, listen, if you've seen Brightburn, there was moments that I was like, whoo, whoo, because it's like it gets pretty visceral.
I appreciate it when movies get like that, but only if it's unexpected. Because then like you don't expect the movie that you're watching to just go
You
suddenly
need to watch
just
Bone
full metal.
Yeah, I do need to watch
He
that.
needs to watch Bone Tomahawk.
Yeah.
Wait, Grayson.
Unexpectedly nasty.
Do you watch The Boys? I'm not sure if we've
Yeah,
talked.
yeah,
about
I'm on episode
Yeah,
7
I
of
bet
season
you
2.
Love that. I bet
Dude,
you love that.
Okay, there was yeah, especially with
spoil
Kimiko, like when she like, dude, she goes sicko mode, like,
It's beautiful. It's
like
beautiful.
I'm like, holy crap. But yeah, there's some moments like, I don't know, like when Homelander just like cuts people in half with his laser vision and stuff, like especially in the first season, there was like the laser-eyed baby. Like
Oh, yeah, dude.
that part, I was like, let's go.
That was so funny though.
Dude, oh, it is. It's so funny. Like there's moments. It's like that show is so ludicrously over the top. Like
Yep.
there's a part where like they explode a whale in the second season, and I'm like,
What was her name? Lucy or something like that?
yeah.
And he was like, "Poor Lucy."
I was like, this show, man. Like, yeah, you guys.
so good.
I'm in the middle of watching that right now, and yeah, the Boys. Total
I need to
side
watch that
thing.
one.
Boys season 2. Yes, sir. I do like
Oh,
it.
I finished it. It's so
Yeah,
good.
I'm on the last 2 episodes. I'll probably watch one right before I go to work, and then I'll have one more episode. This is like honestly, the first show that I've watched in a long time, because it's been a hot minute since I've like continuously watched the show. But I mean, it really ups the bar for every episode. But yeah, Brightburn is kind of in that same vein where it's like Superman, like but like it's a kid who's Superman and can just like he's just killing people in like the most. It feels like it's not demonic, I would say, but like the way these aliens like contact with him and like manipulate his mind, like it's so twisted and dark that you're like, oh my gosh, like this does have like kind of I guess a Halloween setting. And like now that like they're set on a farm in the middle of the woods in this like back alley town that nobody really knows, it builds the atmosphere really well. But it's really good. Probably my favorite movie to watch that I watch every day, or not every day, every Halloween. I watch this movie every day. No, I watch it every day on Halloween. Like, is The Guest, which I know Josh knows
Yeah, I was
is
figuring that was in there.
yeah. That's not even like that's just like one of those movies that like I watched it around September, October, like 6 or 7 years ago because a friend recommended it to me. But because it was set on Halloween, there's like a part where there's like a Halloween dance and like a Halloween party and there's costumes and it's like really seasonally appropriate. But I don't even like people need to go see that movie. People need to watch The Guest. It's got Dan Stevens. He's freaking amazing in it, and it's super good. It's like it's such an homage to like 80s thriller and slightly action movies at the same time. Like it's kind of a perfect blend of the two. And it's honestly one of the reasons why I like slashers so much now, because Cole already mentioned like the Halloween movies. And I mean, I watched the new 2018 Halloween, and dude, it was pretty good. Like at least in terms of the kills that they do in the movie. Like I think that's kind of what the standard for Michael Myers specifically is. Like, all right, what kind of cool creative kill will they do for him? Because Michael Myers is just so like he's just this walking tank man with a knife and can like he can just like pick up people effortlessly and just like bash their brains in. Like it's like, okay, this is fine.
He is the mountain in Game of Thrones, basically.
Literally, he actually is like there. And like the guy that they got him to play in the new like 2018 Halloween, he's like legitimately like I feel like I've seen this guy at like every gas station I've ever been to. I'm like, and there's a part where he kills multiple people at a gas station, and I'm like, I'm never using a gas station bathroom ever again.
Dude, I never use gas station bathrooms from the
That's a
beginning.
rule.
I feel like
That's a
you're
rule.
catching AIDS if you
The-
like, use, I guess.
It depends on like if we're talking like 7-Eleven or Quick Trip, like any of those, like I'm fine with those. But if
Yeah,
it's
but if you go to a Shell, somebody's gonna stab you with a needle.
do not use the bathroom at a Shell or anything around the same level of that. Like, it's got to be one of those more popular ones. But yeah, I mean, you guys acknowledged a lot of like my favorites.
The
So
Lighthouse is the best Halloween movie, though. Let's be honest.
The Lighthouse is really good. I don't know if it's the best Halloween movie though, but I do think I do like watching that movie around October,
It gets all
November.
the vibe. Okay, does anybody else ever want to watch Lord of the Rings around this time of the year?
I always want to
Yeah.
watch Lord of the Rings
That's
any time
true.
of the year.
See,
As soon as we traverse from summer to fall, I
It's
want
like
to
it's Lord of the
watch-
Rings time.
Yeah, I want to watch Lord of the Rings. I want to play Skyrim.
I do want to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I will acknowledge
Oh,
like.
oh my gosh. Okay, by the way, while we're on the topic, we all need to play Elder Scrolls Online. So if you don't have it, get it. There we go. That's
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. No, but like, it's kind of speaking in that whole thing. Like, I don't necessarily want to watch Lord of the Rings around this time. Maybe the Hobbit movie. Well, no, not really. Like,
No.
I really want to. I like watching those movies around Christmas time, actually, just because that's when I first watched them, was around Christmas time.
Yeah.
And so immediately, like, I think of like November, Christmas time. But I do, however, think about the Shadow of Mordor games around this time.
Yeah.
So good.
And there's also a couple other video games that I like,
What
and I
about
know
Lord of the Rings Conquest?
Lord of the Rings Conquest,
Yo.
dude. They need to
love
bring
Lord of
back
the
that
Rings
series. Imagine if they rebooted Lord of the Rings Conquest. That would be
dude.
sick. Oh man,
I'm about to square up as the Witch King.
the
Y'all watch me.
the potential, dude. But I remember like I'll say my favorite video game that like I love to play around Halloween, and I probably played it like. Honestly, I probably want to say I played the campaign for this game, or like the story mode for this game, like 40 times throughout my entire life. And that is, if Keenan loves Spider-Man PS4, I am Spider-Man Web of Shadows. That is like
Oh, man,
my
I love
favorite.
Lord of Shadows.
And so there is a trailer. I'll try to post it on social media, the link to it. But there is a trailer for Web of Shadows that I always think around Halloween time because it is so atmospheric. Like, if anybody doesn't know what Web of Shadows is, it's basically like a Venom apocalypse in New York City. It's very drab and like honestly kind of depressing. And maybe that's why I like it. But the trailer, it starts off with the Moonlight Sonata and with a voiceover from Spider-Man, and it's just like the whole atmosphere in this trailer, it makes me think of like around the Halloween season, like, and I'm like, yes, this is so good. And then there was one other game that like I really like to play around Halloween, but I can't even think of it. There's I know that's not exactly what we were talking about, but like just general things, you know?
I'm talking about just like Halloween movies. You know?
Halloween makes you want to play old school games like Munch's Odyssey and like Heart of Darkness and stuff like that. Y'all have never played those games?
I
No.
am
I'm
familiar
still-
with Heart of Darkness.
Oh, Cole, I remember what it was.
Yes, sir.
Munch's Odyssey? Oh man. Y'all-
Batman Arkham Asylum.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Dude, the Scarecrow, I mean the entire game is so fun to play around Halloween, but the Scarecrow sections, oh,
That's
Listen, you know
So
what I'm
good.
So excited
Now.
for, though?
what's
The
up?
fact that Oswald Cobblepot in the Batman is going to look just like the Oswald Cobblepot from Arkham Asylum
Yeah, Arkham City. Yeah,
or Arkham City. Sorry.
even Arkham City is good. However, I think Arkham City is more like kind of more November Christmassy time. Arkham Asylum is like it's like ooh, it's kind of creepy.
It's funny because the only one that's actually on Halloween is Arkham Knight, but you really don't get Halloween vibes from Arkham Knight.
No, I mean they're wearing like Halloween masks and stuff, and Scarecrow is the main villain. But it came out in the middle of summer, so like when it comes, like I think about summertime when I think of, and weirdly Arkham Origins came out on Halloween, or like I remember it came out like October 29th of 2013. I remember like playing it on Halloween Day, but that game takes place during Christmas. It takes place on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Dude, that game shoves Christmas down your throat.
Oh,
There are
yeah.
multiple themes of Christmas that's just in there.
yeah,
They
I
released
still
it on around Halloween. So.
Yeah, I would say undoubtedly though it's like Arkham Asylum, like the entire setting around that game. I mean, just especially the tone of that game is so well suited. Like, I mean, it does really give you like Batman the Long Halloween vibes as well. Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
I think there's something about Batman in general. Like we mentioned the Tim Burton movies, that it is very well suited around Halloween because Batman is a darker character. Is like I wouldn't say he is a spookier character, but his entire like his rogues gallery and his a little sub section of the DC universe is inherently like spookier and everything like that. But
Fits so well with Halloween. All of it.
yeah. All right, well I think that's gonna do it for this episode unless you guys have any other honorable mentions before we wrap it up. Any epiphanies at this the last 2 minutes?
Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers. I don't think I've ever seen that one either. Wait.
Cars.
You're young.
No, maybe I have
Yeah.
seen Jeepers Creepers.
Forgiven.
Maybe I did when I was like little, but honestly, it's one of those movies that I'm like, it's pretty much like I haven't seen it because I can't remember it. I'd have to look it up. Anyway.
Oh, the like Charlie Brown and like the Great Pumpkin, stuff like that.
Oh, those are the
I love Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown.
Stop it! You can't hate on Charlie Brown.
I'm just kidding. I like Charlie Brown,
Brown.
but I think
Grounded.
I like the Charlie Brown Christmas and Easter movies. That's
yeah,
what
but
I
Charlie
like.
Brown anything, you just can't hate it. It's
No, you can't
literally
hate
the
Charlie
wrong
Brown.
answer.
Yeah, I've got a Charlie Brown tattoo.
I was about to say he got a Snoopy tattoo.
Fighting words.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Cancel Grayson.
I got so offended. I'm like, I like it. I honestly forgot there was a Charlie Brown Halloween movie, or is it?
I'm sure we're
Listen,
gonna
if there's a
get-
holiday, there's a Charlie Brown.
That's true.
Yeah.
Every single year.
Every holiday, a new Charlie Brown is born. It's just the clone army of Charlie Brown.
No, every single year when I was a kid and I went to go trick or treating, I would always end up saying at least once, "I got a rock," and like that's just ingrained. It's like scripted now.
I got
Yeah.
a rock.
I got a rock.
My favorite is Schroeder because it's the closest thing to my last name, and he plays that piano and he smell bad.
Are you talking about Pigpen?
Maybe I'm getting confused.
That's Pigpen. Schroeder is a different thing. I'm pretty sure.
Dude, Schroeder's a pimp. I don't know what you guys.
wait, hold on. I gotta look.
Schroeder is in Charlie Brown. I think that's
No.
just like a separate cartoon, isn't it?
No, Schroeder is the kid that plays the piano that
Okay.
he's hitting on all the time.
Yeah, he's the blonde kid. The stinky kid is somebody else. Yeah.
That's Pigpen.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
That would be Pigpen.
I combined them. I mean, maybe Schroeder smells bad. He's just all he does is play the piano and wears that same striped shirt all the time. Like, jeez.
But that kid be looking fresh, right?
That's true. He does look like a blonde version of you without glasses. Because you like your striped shirts. Anyway, we need to wrap up this episode. Thank you all for listening to our weird little like rant discussion about Halloween stuff. If you like Halloween, good. If you don't,
like
you suck. Like Halloween.
If you don't like Halloween, then get out. If you learn about Halloween, come on back.
Oh, Get Out's a good movie. Anyway, you can follow us.
Yeah.
We're not actually sponsored by
You can follow us at comicblast_ on Twitter and Instagram. Also, if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or wherever you're listening to, please make sure to give us a follow. And if you can, give us a good rating. That also helps boost our views. So if you can't contribute on Patreon, then at least do that. You can follow me at Shrades38, Twitter, Instagram. Cole, where can they follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram at And the Forces with me, and on Twitter at The Cosmic Lotus.
Perfect. Jess, where can they follow you?
Follow me on Instagram at Female and Fatal.
Bada bing. And Josh, where can they find you?
Josh Johnson 98 with 2 N's on all the things.
Correct. You can also
Facebook, don't look for me there.
I'm going to mention our missing hero, Keenan. You can follow him at Keenan Creates on Twitter and Instagram. He's on vacation. He deserves it. So,
I was about to say he's totally fine. Like,
oh yeah,
sound like he died. Like our
Yeah.
hero.
our fallen hero.
Fallen
Respect.
hero.
Nah, he's just
F in
taking a
the
good old
chat.
break. That's which he
will
deserves.
be
You can also find Josh and I don't know what Ethan Cole is saying right now.
He's doing the animal shelter song.
the theme that they play for Tony Stark in Far From Home.
Oh yeah, like the really crappy memorial video where they play like they have like really bad JPEGs.
That's also the same one they do for ASPCA.
Yeah, I was
which
about
is
to
the
say that.
Please adopt a puppy. And
Yeah.
free all these poor
Yeah.
animals.
Please adopt a Keaton to your home today.
I remember you.
Oh almost want to make this video now.
This outro.
The outro is completely butchered. Yeah, have a great day, y'all. Shazam.
What a great way to end it with a bang.